Okay, we're back in business. It was just so funny. I was just talking about how long it takes to do, and then I realized my video just stopped working because I got a message that it was taking too long, and it was just the video was just too long. I think that's hilarious. It just happened that way anyway. This is part three, I guess, of our project, and we are almost done. So I just had to open the hole a little bit on this one. Okay, now it's double strong. Forgot the little one here. Okay, let's cut this. So as you can see, I double strung it. I went all the way this way and I turned it around and came back. So now on this side I have, let me do a little bit, just, there we go. Okay, so now I have two wires coming out from this end. So what I'll do is I'll do the same thing as I did before. Small crimp, a large crimp, okay, and I am turning around. Where's the small one? No, I put a small one in there. What happened to it? Guess it fell. I'm sorry. Do it again. Okay. Small crimp and a large crimp. Okay. Do exactly as I did before. Now I'm going back. It's actually going back fourth time, believe it or not. Okay. And let's cross this one again and doing the same thing here. Okay. And I'll turn it around. Now here's where it gets tricky. I have to tighten everything nice and neat. after I finish putting all the threads in, because it's double. So I have two of them to pull and tighten before I crimp it, because once you crimp it, you can't move it. That's it. It's done. It's in its place. Oh, I almost broke my teeth saying this sentence. And you can't move it again. Okay, here we go. So I just want to make sure I don't have any knots or anything like that here. Okay. Okay, this hole is just a little too tight for a fourth one, so that's okay. Let's see if it's not going to come through. Oh, it did come through. Okay, great. It did. Okay, awesome. All right, so now I'm just going to make sure it's all clean. I'm holding those two ends in my hand, and I'm going back here, and I'm just going to pull. I'm just going to pull this here so that it's nice and tight. Okay. Let the gravity do it for you. I will hold it up, and while it's held up, it pulls on it too. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take my little clamp here and hold it and pull those two strings down. I'll show you. Here we go. I'm holding the two wires and I'm pulling them down. Okay. See? Just have a little bit of thingy here left. And just pulled it nice and tight. And now I'm going to take it and hold it right close to the bead here. I don't have anything loose here. See, nice and clean. Okay, it feels pretty good. So once I have this done, I'm going to start crimping, and I will usually start at the top. Not the big one, remember, just the one right next to it. And this one. Make sure it's nice and tight, and you can clip the leftover string. Here we go. Yay, this is done. Okay. And let's see what clasp we're going to do with this. I need my box. We'll do a toggle. What do you think? We can do a lobster again, or we can do a toggle again. Which one's better? I'll do a toggle. Okay. Do this one. This is a little bit nicer. Open the ring. Put this through. And connect the toggle with the cream bead that you have there at the end. And close the ring. Now just a little hint here to make your life a little fun. On the short necklaces, when you put it on your neck, it usually stays in place, unlike the bigger one that we did earlier that can turn around. The small ones usually don't. They stay like that, flat. So if you want to do a one step, shorter, you can just do one side of the bead, which means instead of doing it on both sides, to give it height on both sides, do it flat on one side. Or alternately, what you can do is on the other side, use different colors. So you'll have two necklaces in one. Let's say you do, but I like to have color coordinating because first of all, if I'm using beads, the seed beads have to match both. So let's say I did this necklace in a brown and blue together, but you can do one side more off-white, let's say, off-white and gold, it will go good with it, and the other side with blue and brown. So this way you have a reversed necklace. Okay, this one's done. The toggle clasp is nicely done, and you have a necklace here. Now we can do the bracelet. For the bracelet, I'm going to use the rest of the beads. I have 9 small beads and 2 medium-sized beads. Okay. And this will be my arrangement. Normally, the length of the bracelets are 7" or 7.5 inches. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to measure, if we're doing this with the seed beads, what would be the length of the bracelet before we start. because we don't want to assemble it and then find out that it's too long or too short. So I put it together, and then I'm leaving just a little bit of a space there. And let's take a ruler. I think I have a ruler behind me. Okay. And we're going to start at about 1/2 inch over here because we're going to add a little bit of a little clasp. So I have 7.5. With the clasp, it will be about 8 inches on this particular one with the beads, with the seed beads, which is, it's pretty decent. Between 7.5, 8 inches, it's a normal size. If you have a smaller hand, you might want to, maybe you don't want to use the seed beads, then you tighten it up a little bit. It'll be closer this way. And now you have 7 inches without the seed beads. If it's still too long, you can just remove this a little bead here. You can do whatever you want, but make sure to measure it when you're working. This should be good enough for a decent size bracelet. Okay, it's usually pretty standard. I'm going to use the same kind of beads because I want to say in a set. It's the same set. You might want to wear it together. I don't want to use anything different. Okay. Let me just put my beads away. Okay. And we're already experienced jewelry makers by this point. We should be able to wrap this one up rather quickly. So again, I need 4 small crimp beads and 2 larger ones. So this is 1 here. I have 1, 2. I need 2 more. I'm just going to do it a single one. This one just to make it a little faster this time. Okay. We need the big ones. There we go. Okay, start with a seed. Small. Okay, usually on the smaller beads, the glue tend to get blocked a lot easier. Okay. It just means that a little bit of glue got there when we glued them to be together and we pressed. It gets into the groove and it blocks the hole. So when you're trying to put the string through, you see, it just doesn't go through easily. You try and try and try, and it doesn't go through. I should just keep my pin out. Okay. One of these days I'll learn how to take videos where I can just start and stop and start and stop and fast forward. It'll be so much easier to do because they won't be this long. If you don't have seed beads, you can use any other bead that you want. These are the larger seed beads, obviously. But you can use crystals, you can use whatever you like, really. Metal beads, or you don't have to use beads at all. You can just do paper beads. That's kind of fun. Okay, actually, I forgot to put the small ones here. Put a small seed bead here. The one before last. Okay, small crimp, large crimp. Turn it around, put it in. Back in. Okay. Oops. What did I do here? I didn't put it through. That's weird. Okay. Sorry about that. Let's do it again. I think that the crimp bead was damaged. It had a hole in it, which means it wasn't closed all the way through. Let's try this again, and now it worked okay. Okay, let's tighten it up. Tighten it here. Tighten it here. Make sure you cut the right one. I want to take a different one. I think the other crimp bead was damaged. I'll just take another one. So for each item that you do, you're gonna need 4 of the small cream beads and 2 of the larger cream beads. If you don't have large cream beads at the store, you can't find any, just make sure it's you can use another bead that has a large enough hole right there so that you can put the metal ring through it. Okay. We're going to pull through. Put this in. Okay. This is a tip. I want to show it to you what I'm doing right now. When you pull it, you know, you have a loop here. You have the wire here at the end. And then you have loose areas here, right? That you want to just tighten it up to make sure that you don't have those kind of things in between. So I take the tool that I have to pull. I'm holding the end on one hand, and with the tool, I'm actually pulling it up until I feel it's nice and tight. And when I feel it's nice and tight, I make it, I pull it up in the air with the gravity again. Just make sure that it's nice and fluidy. If you make it too taut, look what happened. Watch now. Now it's kind of stiff. It's not nice. It takes in kind of an odd shape. You want it nice and fluidy. So release it a little bit. You know, make sure it's nice and fluidy. Fluidy means that it moves easy, but you don't have a lot of spaces showing. Okay? Okay, hold it there with your tool. Hold it with your tool as close as possible and tighten it. See, it's nice and fluid. It moves very nicely. When you're happy with it, use the crimp bead and crimp it. Take the crimp and crimp it. Now you secured it in place. Now it's not going to move anywhere. You have 2 of them. You have one here and one there. Now if you did a few of those and you find that they break easy, they come apart easy, you know, you can always add more crimp beads throughout the bracelet, you know, in different sections, you know. It actually came out a little too tight than I wanted to be. See, I would have preferred it to be a little less tight, actually. Okay. Okay. Now that it's done, let's take 2 rings and 2 rings, toggle clasp, Yes. Call you. Hmm. This is taking a little longer than I thought, but you can wait a few minutes. Okay. This is done. Okay, well done. It's finished. Yay! You put it through. I have small hands, so usually when I do mine, I will do mine a little tighter. It looks like I have big hands, but I have pretty small ones. Okay, you have a bracelet. And there you go. It's all finished. Let's see our creations. You have the matching necklace to the bracelet. The matching earrings. I didn't do the other one, but just have to put a couple of rings in. You know what? Let me just do it. Kind of feels silly doing everything and not doing the last bit of work here. Let's just finish it up, huh? There we go. That's okay. Here we go. There's the necklace, the bracelet, the earrings, and we have the colorful necklace that we did. Oopsie. Yay. Okay. I hope you enjoyed it. My first Cricut project. My first ever with the maker, I mean. My first ever with working with Design Space. And the first time I made necklaces like that. I usually make earrings and other things, bracelets, but it was fun. So hope you enjoyed it, and if you did create something like that with following my tutorial, please show me what you made. I would love to see it. You can contact me at tamarhperry@gmail.com or on my website www.tamarperryart.com, or you can leave me a comment on this video. Thank you. Bye.